Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today it's one of my replays, and I'm in the Neustrashimy. And I'm terribly sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Now this is a tier 9 Russian premium destroyer. I'm on the map Northern Waters in a 3-point domination game. It's a tier 9 battle, pretty great matchmaking there. There is only an Atlanta for radar and there is no carrier, so this is amazing. But the Neustrashimy is a bit of a weird one because it doesn't follow the usual Russian destroyer traits, I guess we could say. So basically you are very sneaky with 5.6 concealment. You have 10km torps, which are reasonable. You don't have too many guns, although the guns themselves are okay. And you're loaded with consumables. You have a super heal basically for a destroyer. So you're a bit of a zombie boat there. Also defensive fire, although your anti-air isn't so great. You have a smoke screen, you have a speed boost. And right now, I'll be having a cap. Well, assuming that nobody interrupts us while... Now I'm divisioned with Viper, this is often the case, and we've managed to take our cap here. And I got 2 torps in the Bismarck, which isn't that lovely. Now unfortunately, well, we had 4 destroyers, none of us went to the center because we're the destroyer spawning in the center. Now the destroyer spawning in the center decided that he doesn't want to take the center, so, you know. Now we have a large force on the left flank. I'm sincerely hoping that they will take this cap because there is really enough. Oh wait, torps. And okay, that worked. Anyway, as I was saying, there's nothing stopping our forces from taking A, right? There is basically the Benson inside. There is no other big ship visible. So we have 6 ships that are currently stopped by 1 Benson. This is one case where if I was a destroyer, I would go aggressively scouting. Because there is so much support, right, and there is nothing he has to be afraid of. Well, I guess Benson torps, but Benson torps aren't the fastest, so... Anyway. Now, I've just found the Fletcher. There is a scone inside D here. And I'm turning a bit away there because I'm afraid that the... Oh wait, there's a Yugumo too. So yeah, there are definitely going to be torps coming this way. So trying to quickly get some torps myself off, and then I'll just deploy smokescreen to disappear here. Because, you know, I'm getting shot at by a lot of people. Now I've got some torps going towards this. I'm afraid that the Fletcher has reversed. Yeah, the Fletcher is back. And this was a very bad idea because, as we can see here, the Soyuz can now spot. So that blind shot was definitely just a stupid idea. But you know, could be worse. It could be that Yugumo. I mean, yeah, got myself the Yugumo, so that's lovely. And now I'm in concealment again, yeah, but I really shouldn't have shot. I didn't think this one through. Right, the smoke protected me from like being spotted in this direction, but there were ships already pushed too far into the camp that could see me from the side. So anyway, now our forces have taken A. They haven't found the Benson because the Benson is wisely retreated, it looked like, although for some reason it's currently spotted. But our forces are now moving towards A, that's nice. Now the Alabama is a bit far in the back, but most of our forces are actually pretty close. And that's pretty nice. So basically we got 1 flank, the enemy sorta has the other. We still have some forces here though. Now there is no reason for me going B2, we have the Akisuki move in and we have Viper over there. So I'm gonna stick around here and I'm gonna torpedo a few things and try not to get torpedoed in return. Right, so there are a lot of ships here in somewhat close quarters, so maybe I can sneak some torps into it. And oh, scone. Now I could have just run away here and disappeared, but I mean I will win this gunfight against the scone. That's not really an issue. The issue is that the scone has friends, lots of friends. And the biggest issue is also I don't have a smokescreen ready, so I can't disappear once I got I've destroyed this destroyer. Missed there, but damn it, sink. And there we go. Now comes the try to survive part, and there are lots of enemies that are interested in me. Now thankfully those enemies sail behind an island, So basically they're taking themselves out of the fight. If they had slowed down and sat there and tried to keep shooting me, it would have been a bit more problematic. But I'm in concealment again, and you can see just how powerful that heal is. That's why the Neustrashimy is a bit of a zombie ship. So yeah. Now, unfortunately, there isn't much more healable damage left. I think I got smacked a little bit too hard by AP from those guys. But that's okay. I still have 1 heal charge left, might come in handy later. And you know, I mean, I'm still at 12k hit points. That's certainly good. It was worth it taking out this cone, although it was a bit risky, right? What I could have done is, could have just sailed away. I would have needed to make it 600 meters, I think. It was at 5 kilometers, right? I mean, I could have tried to just get away and go into concealment. But I decided to take the risk, and this time it's definitely paid off. Now, anyway. We have 2 camps now, which is good. The enemies are all on this side of the map. Now, our ships here have successfully retreated. It means we don't have a crossfire any longer, but we basically just have now 2 forces facing off. Now, the enemy Benson is going for the A-cap, but Viper saw it, and Viper is gonna go and try to fight off this Benson. Now, as ZF6, he should have no trouble dealing with the Benson. Of course, if the Benson, like, smokes up, and could be tricky. Like, you don't necessarily want to charge a smoke screen, I guess. It can always go wrong. So meanwhile, I'm trying to top the Soyuz. But it looks like the Soyuz is slowing down, so I'm waiting a little bit here. It's possible that he just stops here behind this island. I'm hoping that he just slowly keeps going further. He doesn't really need this island as cover. I mean, he's already too far ahead anyway, right? This York and Bismarck might shoot him. So, well, unfortunately though, you know, he's slowing down because he sees the first set of torps, and that means he's now slowed down enough that he'll dodge the second set of torps, so that's a bit of a shame. But, you know. Now, Tirpitz and Aegir still somewhat far away. I could smoke here and shoot. And this is what I'm probably gonna do here in a second now. Now, torps are going to run out and won't hit the Bismarck. You see, the thing is, there is no current friend unless the Aegir like pushes me with Hydro. So might as well get a little bit of pew-pew in. And I'm not really needed for spotting right now. There is no... I mean, the Fletcher was last seen in the north. That's pretty far away from me. Well, okay, I guess we don't have spotting on the Soyuz. Well, we are losing a little bit of spotting there. You'd hope that... but, you know, as soon as the enemy battleships shoot, they will be visible. So the enemy concealment isn't good enough that they can, like, fire around the tank then. So it's okay, I'll just lend my guns to this while I wait for my torps to reload that have actually reloaded. Now I could try torpedoing the Aegir if the Aegir keeps pushing. The Soyuz, I mean, I'm not sure if the Soyuz is gonna come out, so let's see that. The Aegir seems to be going straight ahead, so we launch some torps, and that means the second after I launch the torps, the Aegir is gonna turn away. This is often the case. But I did get a fire on the Aegir earlier, so if I can get another fire, that would be lovely. So, dear RNG, please give fire. I mean, it's a German, right? It's not the Kurfürst, but it's, you know, maybe it likes to burn too. There we go, there is the fire now. That fire is gonna stick. Meanwhile, the Soyuz is pushing. Now I regret having torps here, I guess, because now torps would just come in handy a lot. I still have about 20 seconds of smoke left. But, you know, we've just lost vision. I've decided to just move out. I don't see the Tirpitz right now, I'm not sure how close it is. One thing about sitting in a smoke screen is you have to be wary if you get... Like, if you can't see your ship coming towards you, you don't know how close it is. If the smoke screen suddenly disappears and then you're spotted and surrounded by enemies, that's not good. Now, speaking of surrounded, our battleships have surrounded this one island. I'm not entirely sure why. I'm not sure why. Now, Viper is on his way back here, stayed successful with the Benson and preserved our captor, which will come in handy because points might play a role. We are a bit behind on ships. Nothing too crucial yet. I mean, I'm just... How healthy are our battleships? Well, except for the Lenin, I guess they all have taken a bit some damage, so... Okay. Who do I gonna talk? If I torp this way, right, there are Tirpitz, a Bismarck, and an Aegir coming this direction, so I could potentially hit all three of them, right? Obviously the Aegir and the Bismarck are currently out of range, but they're going to sail into that range if they keep coming this way. Now if I sail a little bit more south, I can get better potential broadside torpedoes on the Tirpitz. Then again, I'm not sure exactly how this Tirpitz is gonna maneuver anyway. Let's get some torps off. Also, right now it looks like the torps are only going for the Tirpitz, but when we look at how the Bismarck is moving, right, the Bismarck is moving basically in potentially the path of the torps if he keeps moving there a little bit north. Aegir looks less likely to do so. We will see. Now, of course, the Tirpitz is unfortunately very angled against those torps, but we get a nice one there in the front, and we can get another boop into the nose. There we go. So that's lovely. And the torps continue, like as I said, the Bismarck, having turned a little bit north there, is now in the path of the torps as well. And even though those torps are spotted, it doesn't look like the Bismarck is taking too much evasive action. And he eats too. That's how I like my battleships. And now, we've caused floodings on both of those battleships, which means I can just smoke up and try to set them on fire. Now, thankfully, the Aegir is sailing away. Aegir has powerful hydro, so being pushed by an Aegir might be a bit of an issue. But, you know, Aegir is going away. Now, the Tirpitz is getting closer, although it doesn't look like he is directly coming for me, so that's good. Tirpitz does have 6km torpedoes. Now, he is currently outside of 6km range, but he's almost inside it, so... And this is basically, yeah, he's now inside torpedo range, technically. Something one should be aware of. Hey, I took out a torp launcher, but, you know. Anyway, so there was no lucky fire, but the Tirpitz is dead, so it doesn't matter. Now, the Bismarck's hydro could still be on cooldown. There is the lucky fire. So I'm currently reversing, and if I had thought this one through, I'd be thinking, you know what, the Tirpitz was basically torp range, right? So if I reverse, I basically get closer. This is a very bad idea, and this is a very bad idea. And I get away with it. Oh, that was lucky. The thing is, I tend to want to move around in smoke to make blind shooting harder, so I just, oftentimes I just don't want to sit still if there is like a smoke trail where I can move up and down in. So, yeah, but, you know, if I had thought this through, I would have probably angled better, would have set more there on the other end of the smoke screen where I was farther away from the Tirpitz, but hey. So this Bismarck is low on health. Is he still burning? No, he is not. It's a shame. But our team took care of it. Yeah, so it's 4 against 4. The biggest advantage we now have is we have more points, right? It's still 5.5 minutes to play, so... Yeah, we'll probably be ship sinking before this is all over. Speaking of sinking ships, this Soyuz is pushing in rather nicely broadside right now, so we spread the torps out a little bit. I don't need that many torp hits to sink him, but I do need... I don't know, probably around 3? Yeah, it depends. I mean, the team might soften him up some more there. Right now, the Soyuz isn't looking too bad. I mean, his course, right? I think he's speeding up again. He has been varying his speed a bit, but unfortunate for him, he's sailing straight into those. Yeah, he's dead. He is pretty dead. So that's 2, and yeah. Oh, it took 4 torpedoes to sink him. Well, but now he's been destroyed. Now it's 4 against 3, although our leading is pretty low right now. Well, Viper is pretty low, but Viper is in the destroyer. He can stay undetected unless he runs into the Fletcher. I guess that could be an issue. Now the plan is I'll be using this island and shoot the Aegir. I still have a heal, so if I get smacked a bit by high explosive, I can heal a bit of that back. But still, you know, I don't want to risk myself too much because we are winning on points, so let's try not to win too hard. But I can use this island and lob some shells while we are undetected, unless of course he hydros. But currently that doesn't seem to be the case. Now the Aegir is going in for, I guess, a ram or a torpedo. So If he pulls off that ram, that would be bad for us. I'm trying armor piercing here, and there we go. No ram for you, buddy. No ram for you. The top chest time out within the middle of your hull. Oh, there was some other action that I missed, I guess. So yeah. We are now 3 against 2. The Alabama is not the healthiest anymore. They do have an Atlanta. How healthy is that Atlanta, by the way? So the Atlanta is sitting here in the center. I'm not going to push into a raider, right? I shouldn't have to. We do have a comfortable lead. It's 3 minutes. The thing is, we don't want to do anything too risky, but can we set already sail to the sunset? I don't know where the Fletcher is, right? For example, if they sink the Alabama, the Fletcher runs into Viper, sinks Viper, and then keeps A, right? There's still ways to lose this. Well, there is the Fletcher. Pretty healthy still. Although, when we look at it, he has almost the same hit points as I do now. And, oh, is he going to sail into the stops? Oh no, he's turning away. And, come on, Torp, come on. Oh, yes, yes, and... Oh, they ran out. Oh, such a shame. It would have been a Kraken, mind you. Now, shooting him is slightly... If the Atlanta can start lopping shells from the island, it could be a bit tricky. Although Atlanta's shells are somewhat easy to dodge, I guess. If one watches out, and he's already behind this island. Now, the Fletcher is getting rather low. And yeah, I'm a bit Kraken greedy. Right now we just win. We should be taking care that we aren't losing ships, I guess. And there is the Atlanta pushing out. The Atlanta could radar here, I guess. Let's just put some torps in that direction, see what happens. So I've loaded armor piercing. If the Atlanta goes broadside, maybe we can do something. It doesn't look like he can actually see Viper, I think. Because he's just blind shooting the smoke. So, broadside Atlanta, let's see if we can get a few shells in the Atlanta is behind the island. Of course, what I haven't been thinking of, right? The destroyer might be here spotting. So I didn't go into, like once the Atlanta got into concealment, I didn't disappear. And Atlanta can be pretty dangerous, but you know, I do have a heal. And the shells travel so long that I can dodge the other salvos. And now we just win points. So that brings us to the results, and that was a pretty successful game in the Neustrashimy. Didn't quite get the Kraken. I was torn in the end between trying to get the Kraken and play safe and win. And I mostly played safe, and I mean it's the right choice, right? I could have played a little bit more safe, but I felt like I also have a detonation flag, so they couldn't have detonated by accident, so yeah. Anyway, got myself a Confederate, a devastating strike, and a high caliber, scored quite a bit of damage, and had a fun game. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching it too, and I'll see you next time.